Welcome back to our discussion on refactoring. Again, refactoring is just cleaning up our code, ensuring that if we want to extend or scale our application, we do not encounter many difficulties. So one thing I want to do in this lesson, in this video, is to be able to pass the address of the server. Okay, so here we have hard-coded 4000, but we want the flexibility to be able to pass the address from the command line. Okay, and so basically we are talking about configuration. So in Go, we use the flag package to deal with configuration. So let me show you how that works. The first thing we need is the flag package. All right. Let me put that here. Okay. Of course, that will be removed because I have not used it. But let's go ahead and use it. So inside our main, okay, I want us to tell Go that we want to accept the port number, the HTTP address, all right, from the command line. And if the user does not provide the address, we want to have some backup, some default address that we should use. Okay, so first thing, let's create a flag. Okay, and so let's give it a name. Let's use address. And keep in mind that address will be a pointer. Okay, whenever we deal with flags, command line flags, the result will be stored in a pointer. Okay, so I'm going to use flag, and then I have to say what type of flag the user will be, what type of thing the user will be typing in. And so the user will be typing in a string, because remember, our address is a string right here, right? So Go provides us with many different options for a flag. It could be a string, it could be an int, it could be a bool. In our case, the user will be typing in a string. And so we need to provide 3 pieces of information to this flag that string function. What is the name of the option? Okay, and so the name will be ADDR. Okay. Next, we have to provide a default in case the user does not provide anything. And so by default, we're going to keep the 4000. And thirdly, we need to specify a usage message, a help message. So if the user doesn't know how to use our flag, they could do the -help, and they should be able to see what the flag does. And so we will say that it is the HTTP network address. Okay, so this is how we set a flag. Okay, and notice the flag package should now be here, right? Okay, and there's one final thing we need to do. After we have specified our flags, because we could have as many flags as needed, we must now type the flag .parse command or function. What does that flag.parse do? It actually goes and gets the flag from the command line. So if this is missing, this will not work. Okay, so we have address, and notice it's a pointer to a string. So it's pointing to the string that the user will type in at the command line. And so now we can go ahead and remove this 4000 and we can put address. But remember, ADDR is expecting a string. If I do ADDR, that's not a string. That's a pointer to a string. And so I just have to dereference it. So let me dereference it by putting in the dereference operator. Now that's a string. Alright, so we dereference the pointer to the string to get the string. Of course, you all know that. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's save this. So let me show you how it should work. Okay, so I'm going to open a terminal. And so now I'm going to have go run /cmd/web. And so now I can use the flag. All right, and so I will say that ADDR. Right? That's the name of my flag, ADDR. Whenever you use the flag name, you must put a dash. All right, and since we are using Linux, you have been already using flags. All right, just to remind you what a flag looks like, whenever you did something like ls-l, -l is a flag. Okay, of course we did not specify what it should have, but it's default. Okay, so these are flags. You've been using them, now you know what they are. Okay, so we're gonna say that / go run /. Okay, now I want to have the ADDR flag equal sign, assignment sign, sorry, and in quotes, because it's a string, we're going to put the port number we want. Let's say we want 5000. Okay. Oh, we see a problem here though. It's still printing out 4000, and that's because we didn't change it here. Okay, but let's make sure it actually works. So let's, instead of port 4000, let's check port 5000. And it works. All right, it works. /quote. So the server is running on port 5000. If I try to use 4000, right, it doesn't know 4000 because the port is not running on 4000. It's running on 5000. Okay, so let's fix this thing here where we're printing out 4000. Right, Control C. That's pretty easy to fix. All right, so all we have to do is, instead of using print line, we're just going to use printf, and we're going to say starting server on port, or on, let's not say port, let's say on modulus s, and then I'm going to have a colon there, comma, and now I'm just going to provide the string. Again, I can't say ADDR, I have to say ampersand, sorry, the reference ADDR. Okay, so starting server on, I guess I could put port. Okay, and so now let's try this again. Now if I don't do anything, if I don't put the flag, by default it will use 4000. Alright, and so if I try to run it on 5000, it will not work because it should be 4000. Let's go back. 4000. All right, it works on 4000. So if the user does not provide a value, we default to 4000. Control C. Of course, if I decide I want to use the 5000 port, colon 5000. Okay, and notice it gives me 5000. And so if I go back here, this won't work because we are using, the user says they want port 5000. Great. Now, how does this help message come about? Well, if the user doesn't know how to use a flag, then the user can simply ask. Okay, if I say ADDR, say help. Oops. Help. Come on. Control L. ADDR. So that / wait, go run that / cmd / web. Okay, all right. So I just simply put -adr, enter. All right. So if I just put this, it's incorrect, and so it will tell me I need, right? So it tells me, right? HTTP. Oops, I spelled it wrong. HTTP network address default 4000. So if I don't know what to do, then Go will provide a message to tell me how to use it. All right, and so I must provide a string. I must provide a string. All right, and gives me a hint what that string does. And it tells me what the default is. Okay, so let me quickly fix this. So it's HTTP. All right, and so those are the three pieces of a command line flag. What the user should type after a dash, what the default will be if the user does not type anything, and the help message if the user does not know how to use the flag. Now, the reason why you're learning about flags is because it's the common way to do things when you're setting configuration in your Go web application. And secondly, because coming up, we want to move all of this into a flag so that the user can provide this information from the command line. And as you will see, we won't have any passwords being visible. Okay, because if you think about it, let's say you share this code, you share your code with other people, right? You don't want them to see what your passwords are to your database. They could connect to the database, sure, but you want to give them sort of a, code that does not allow them to see your confidential parameters. That's the word. Okay, so in the next lesson, we're going to keep talking about flags, and we're going to use them to provide our database connection or database source connection, right? DSN, database data source name. Okay, I'll see you in that next lesson.